Good morning, everyone. This is Sandy Marrero with Western Marketing. I am very happy to introduce today the new product, a suite of products that we will have through Western Marketing. And happy to introduce Mr. Gary Hardiman, which is the broker coordinator for Aflac for all products. We will be going through some slides about their accident benefits, the cancer level, critical illness, and other type of products that they have. This will be an open forum type webinar. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please type the questions, and we'll try to answer those questions as they come. Without any further ado, Gary, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it, and hello and good morning to everyone on the webinar. I would like to, by the way, I'm located in Houston, Texas. I would like to talk to start off with about how Aflac products can indeed help boost your client's benefit program. And the beauty of these products is that they are meant to be part of a comprehensive benefit program, which will normally include some sort of health coverage, may include some term life. But this is to take care of some of the loose ends that aren't covered by traditional health insurance. And as far as a benefit to your client, and I'm talking primarily of your employer clients right now, that by offering these plans, you can actually show the employer where there's a possibility of saving money by offering these plans in 3 different ways. Now, it's one thing to say that an employee who's covered that has an illness or an injury gets benefits, that's fine. But let's face it, our first sale is to the employer. So we like to talk about what's in it for that employer. Saving money in 3 ways, and one of them is guaranteed. So let's take a look at those. The first thing is that those plans that can be pre-taxed obviously will reduce, through Section 125, will reduce the employer's payroll. If you reduce the employer's payroll, you are going to reduce the payroll taxes that employer has to pay. So every dollar that of Aflac premium that's pre-tax is going to save that employer a few pennies on their payroll taxes, and that's a guaranteed savings, okay? The second way is that Aflac does a workforce survey about every couple of years. And our most recent one showed that the survey that was returned by 1,800 different employers said that they noticed a reduction in their workers' compensation claims after they started offering benefits, voluntary benefits. The 2 type benefits they were referring to is an accident plan that pays if someone is injured, and also short-term disability. And they noticed that they had a reduction in workers' comp claims after offering these type plans. Now, let's take a look at why that might happen. There are basically 3 types of workers' compensation claims. The first one is a real claim where a person is working and they get hurt and they have to have medical attention. That's real. There's not really a whole lot we can do about that. The second type claim is unnecessary. In other words, a person comes to work, but they something that happened off the job causes them to have an on-the-job injury. A good example would be someone who had hurt their ankle, for instance, let's say playing softball, and they go to work the next day, and that ankle injury causes them to fall, maybe fall off a ladder, off a shelf, and they have a legitimate workers' comp claim, but it was unnecessary. If they had gone and got treatment for that hurt ankle before, then they wouldn't have been putting weight on it. They would have had a doctor's documentation that it occurred off the job. And then the third type is actual fraud, and that's where the person just fakes an on-the-job injury, and we can't directly stop that. We hate to think about those. It does happen every once in a while. So how can Aflac plans help avoid those type of unnecessary or fraudulent workers' comp claims? Well, if the person who's injured off the job sees that they have an insurance plan that's going to pay them a certain amount of money to go get treatment, then they don't worry about having to pull it all out of their pocket and not go seek medical attention. So approximately 60% of those employers responded saying they had noticed a reduction in the frequency of workers' comp claims after offering voluntary benefits. The third way that we can possibly save an employer money is if they're looking at increases in their health insurance. And we all know sometimes those increases can be substantial. Well, one of the first things that they consider doing is raising their deductible. They hate to do that because it costs the employee more money when they have to use the coverage. But if they're offering voluntary products, such as Aflac offers, then if they do raise that deductible and then give the employee an opportunity to purchase an Aflac plan that will give them a source of money to help pay that higher deductible, then they're not putting the whole financial burden onto the employee. So, as I said, there's benefits in here for the employer to offer Aflac products and that can show him or her that they can possibly save money in three different ways. Now, let's take a look at some of the plans. And Sandy, I think if you got the accident plan there, this is our accident advantage plan, option 4. And if you can scroll down a little bit, let's take a look at some of the benefits. Now, this particular one covers accidental injuries on or off the job. Okay, and yeah, it's a little bigger now. Yeah, I can see it. I appreciate it. Just to hit a few of these, the first benefit up there says initial accident hospitalization benefit. Now, that if a person is injured, they admitted to a hospital, then we're going to pay a lump sum benefit of $1,500. Okay, and that's directly to them for being admitted to the hospital. That amount goes to $2,500 if they're in intensive care. Then additionally, we're going to pay them $300 a day for every day they spend in the hospital. Now, it says 365 days. Of course, we know most people don't stay in the hospital longer than a few days. But with that $1,500 upfront benefit, plus $300 a day for, let's say, 2 or 3 or 4 days they're in there, then you've got a source of funds, of money, that can help people offset their out-of-pocket expense through a deductible or a copay they may have with their health insurance. The accident treatment benefit, you see the fourth one down there. It's payable once in a 24-hour period. If they go to an emergency room, then we're going to pay a $200 emergency room benefit. If they go into an office other than a hospital emergency room, such as a doctor's office, then we pay $150. We have an ambulance benefit down there that you see for a ground and air ambulance. We have a blood and plasma benefit. And we have imaging benefit down there, $250 per year. Now, the appliance benefit, scooting down there a little bit, you see where it lists for back braces, body jacket, knee scooter, that type thing. Years ago, accident plans didn't used to pay for those things, but then people realized that if the doctor says you need it, then you have to pay, for it one way or the other. So this is a way that gives them cash to use for that. If they have to go to a rehabilitation facility, we're going to pay $200 for a day. And then down below that, you see the dislocations and burns and so forth. The dislocations benefit will run anywhere from $120 up to $4,500, depending on the joint that's dislocated. Burn benefits based on the severity and the body area that's burned, and the benefit can run from $135 all the way up to $13,000. And then you see we have benefits down there for eye injuries and then lacerations. Now, laceration that doesn't require stitches, we're still going to pay a $40 benefit. And then depending on the size or the length of the laceration, you see that the benefit goes from $90 up to $600. The fracture benefit is for a complete fracture of a bone, and depending on the bone, it pays anywhere from $150 all the way up to $4,000. Obviously, a broken finger is going to pay a little bit less benefit than a broken hip, but we have those. The accidental death benefit is on a worldwide common carrier. It's $200,000 accidental death. Other accidental death, it pays, as you see there, $50,000. And then scooting down, we have a wellness benefit. Now, if you see that, it says $60 per calendar year. The beauty of this is that it's one of the few things that you can get paid for without having to get hurt. And so many times when we go back into an existing Aflac account, we'll ask the people, how many of you went and got a checkup or visited a doctor's office in the past year? And you see some of the hands go up. And then we say, well, did you file your wellness benefit claim with Aflac? Because you're entitled to $60 every year on that benefit. And it's the type thing, since no one's getting hurt to do it, we forget to file it. Aflac will go back as long as the person had the coverage in force, and they will pay that benefit. So in other words, if a person had the coverage for, say, 2 years, and they haven't filed it, but they've gone to doctor's office, all we need is proof from the doctor that, yeah, they came by and had a checkup or whatever, and we'll pay back as far as they go. In that case, 2 years, we pay them $120. So that is a good way to remind your existing customers of the value of their Aflac coverage, even when something bad doesn't necessarily have to happen to them. And then on the way down there, you see there's benefits for organized sports. This comes into play a lot when we have children that are playing organized sports in high school or whatnot. And then there's transportation lodging benefit if treatment has to be obtained outside of their immediate living area. All right, so Sandy, if you want, maybe we can take a look at the critical illness plan.
That, of course, definitely.
Okay.
We'll take care of that right now, and we'll get it to a sizable there. Yeah, and then we'll go to the benefits.
Okay. Now, the critical illness plan, in most cases, in a group enrollment, I don't use a lot of statistics, but I very often will ask people, do you yourself or do you have a friend or family member who has suffered a critical health event? And in most cases, at least people know of someone who's gone through it, even if they haven't gone through it themselves. Well, I can tell you from experience that when you have a critical health event, the easiest one to visualize here is a heart attack. With a heart attack, and hopefully we'll be able to get treatment and recover from it. But these are expensive things, and if you've got in your health insurance policy, if you got a $3,000 or $4,000, in some cases a $5,000 or $6,000 deductible, then it's going to hit you right there because it's going to be that much money. So the beauty of these critical illness plans is that at a time when the person needs that cash, a large amount up front, we can provide it. This, our critical care plan here pays $7,500 upon diagnosis of having a special health event. It goes up to $10,000 for dependent children. Now, we have other critical illness plans that you can get guaranteed issue up to $10,000, but in this particular one, it is $7,500 benefit. The specified health events it covers are kind of in the middle of the page there. You see you got heart attack, stroke, bypass surgery, sudden cardiac arrest, third-degree burns are considered a critical health event. And then on the right side, you have coma, paralysis, renal failure, that type thing. Now, the surgery benefits of the policy, the Tier 1, it will pay a benefit for heart valve surgery and then aneurysm surgery. On the Tier 2, you can see the listing down there from angioplasty down to catheterization and those type of benefits. Can you scroll it up, please?
Up?
Well, down where I can see the bottom of the page.
Okay. Here.
Yeah. And yeah, that's fine. That's fine. The option 3 overview on here, hospital intensive care benefit for days 1 through 7, it pays $800 a day. For days 8 through 15, it goes up to $1,300 a day. Then you can see down on the subsequent benefit, subsequent specified health event, if it pays $7,500 for that initial instance, say a heart attack, then if you have a reoccurrence down the road, it pay a $3,500 benefit. So in other words, there's no lifetime maximum, and it won't pay just one time, and then it's over. It does continue on. The specified heart surgery benefits, you see the amounts there. Tier 1, and we already mentioned what some of those were. It's $4,000. Then Tier 2 is $2,000. And the whole idea of this is not only does it pay a lump sum when the critical health event occurs, but it, depending on the treatment obtained subsequently, it's going to pay additional benefits. Okay. And by the way, we will be happy to quote any of these plans or combinations of these plans for your client groups. I'll let Sandy talk in just a little bit about how he wants you to submit those. But the premium and the plans available in each state are based on the type of business that you want and, of course, the state where it's located. Most of these plans are available in all states. A few of them have a couple of exceptions, but most of them are. And what we would give you is an actual quote of the plan benefits, the premium, and all the details that we would need to be able to assist you in doing an effective enrollment of that case, of that account. All right, Sandy, can you find our cancer plan? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I was going to ask you that. I was going to actually open the cancer, and then we go with a plus rider so they can have a better understanding of how that works. This is the normal cancer product. And I'm going to let you go for it. We'll go to the benefits.
Now, the thing is, once again, unfortunately, most people know someone, friend or family member that has undergone some sort of cancer treatment. It is unfortunately more prevalent than we wish. The thing with cancer is it takes a toll in several different areas. Number one, it takes a physical toll on a person, having to go through the treatment options. It takes an emotional toll because no one wants to get the news that, this whatever test showed that you have a cancerous situation. But then also financially, because cancer treatment is not one and done like so many accidental injury treatments are. Cancer treatment, the person will go through one or more of procedures such as surgery, chemotherapy, radiation. And so in addition to being physically demanding on them, it's also going to take money out of their pocket to pay for these type things. So this cancer plan is specifically meant to help people subsidize their expenses with a plan from this, in addition to whatever their health insurance is going to pay, which obviously the health insurance is paying the majority of the bills, but this will reduce how much has to come out of pocket. Now we're looking at cancer screening tests. Now these wellness benefits and these screening tests, they're paid in addition to each other. You see this cancer screening test at $75 per year if a person has a cancer screening test. Well, what's a cancer screening test? Well, I could an X-ray. So if they had the accident plan and a cancer plan, then they would be able to claim under both. They get $60 for the accident plan wellness benefit and $75 for the cancer screening benefit. So once again, there are benefits in here that a person can collect without having something bad actually happen to them. So it's just a reminder that this coverage is valuable to stay in force. Let's scroll down a little bit, and the initial diagnosis. Now, when a person is diagnosed with cancer, with an internal cancer, then you've got a $4,000 initial diagnosis benefit. You see there for children, it's $8,000. It will also pay if a person goes to get a second opinion from another doctor. They will pay $300 if they have reached out for a second opinion. You see the radiation chemotherapy benefit there. It says self-administered. If they're taking pills at home, it pays $250 per month. If they're going to a treatment center and having physicians administer the treatment, it's $1,200 per month. If they're going through, you see down some of the different types of treatment, hormonal, topical chemotherapy, anti-nausea, you see benefits there, $25, $150, and $100 per calendar month. For stem cell and bone marrow transplantation, there's a $7,000 benefit. Blood and plasma, you've got $50 times the number of days paid under hospital confinement benefit. It's up to the same amount of time they were in the hospital. Surgery and anesthesia is going to benefit, depending on the type of surgery, anywhere from $100 to $3,400. And the anesthesia benefit is always 25% of that actual surgery benefit. And as you look down, hopefully everybody can see the screen, you see the different types of benefits that we pay. And the idea of the plan is as many types of treatment that a person is going through, we are going to try to find every way that we can pay a benefit. So in most cases, they're going to be collecting on a number of these benefits, not just one here or there. And let's see. I think that, looking down there on the ambulance benefit, $250 for ground, $2,000 for air ambulance. We've got benefits for breast reconstruction, $2,000 in most cases there. Other reconstructive surgery. So it's not just for the initial treatment of cancer, it's also for follow-ups. And then you've got transportation in many cases. If a person doesn't live close to a cancer treatment center, or certainly not one that would be able to give them all the services they need, then we will help with the transportation and a lodging benefit. It does have a waiver premium if the person is not able to work and function for 90 days, then the premium is waived. And then we've got several optional riders down there, specified disease rider that will cover diseases other than cancer. And I think this might be a good time, Sandy, to pull up the Plus Rider.
Right.
Yeah. This rider can be added to a number of plans that we have, the cancer plan, the critical illness plan, and the accident plan in certain states. And what it does, it simply adds an additional critical illness type benefit to these additional plans. But it's a rider, so it's a little less expensive than the full-blown critical illness plan, but it can be added to each one of them. Now, this rider will add to whatever existing benefit they have, it will add an additional $5,000. And let's stop right there where you see it. That can be applied if the person suffers any one of those 15 situations that are listed there, from heart attack all the way down to sudden cardiac arrest. It's paid once per covered person per lifetime, that initial benefit. If they have a subsequent occurrence of that critical health event, then it's going to pay $2,500. And then if we slide on down, we have Tier 2, pays $1,250 for another variety of critical health events, from encephalitis all the way through cystic fibrosis. If they have coronary artery bypass surgery, I think they call it CABG, it's a $1,250 benefit. And then hospital confinement benefit amounts for 4 to 9 days is $1,250 a day. So it's for a much lower premium. It's a way to add the critical health event coverage onto an accident plan or a cancer plan or a critical illness plan. Okay, so hopefully, folks, this gives you some examples of what I said initially, how this can help individuals deal with out-of-pocket expenses. The days many years ago, I don't know how many of you can remember when we used to have experience with health insurance plans where common deductibles were $100, $200, $300. Well, those plans, those are long gone. So when a person is looking at having to pull out thousands of dollars out of their pocket for a deductible, then these plans really come in handy to help them from going into savings or sometimes liquidating some of their assets to pay these. And I've had people tell me that, well, the doctor at the hospital, or at least the hospital, they'll put you on a payment plan if you can't pay it all at one time. And I said, well, yeah, but you still have to pay it somewhere along the line. So we've got here you're looking at additional benefits, hospital confinement benefit. The person can choose whether they want $500 a day all the way up to $2,000 a day. And then we've got emergency room coverage is added on to the base plan, pays $100 for treatment in an emergency room. And sometimes we realize under our health insurance, if you go to emergency room, you have to pay more out of pocket than if you went to a doctor's office. So these benefits will help in offsetting that expense to the insured person. You got physician office benefits there, $25 for a visit to the doctor's office, and then additional benefits for hospital stay and surgical care, and that's on top of the benefit they would get on the base plan that they have, the critical illness plan, for example. Okay. Now these plans. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, just to add to these benefits on the hospital plan, if you combine this plan with the Plus Rider, you have added a very robust hospital indemnity to whatever plans you have. So it's very important for you to note that. That's all I have to say about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and going back to something I mentioned initially also about how a business owner, if they're faced with rising premiums on their health insurance and they're considering raising the deductible amount to lower the cost to the employee, then these type plans, the base plans plus the Plus Rider, as you can see, will give another source of money to help offset that higher deductible. So the beauty is that the employer can save a little bit of money by increasing the deductible, and the employees can save a little bit of money by that increased deductible, but then they have the option of purchasing a voluntary plan from Aflac that will give them that money if they have to seek treatment or they have one of those occurrences. So it's a way to help offset that. And the other beautiful thing about it, I've been telling employers this for a long, long time, is that only the employees who see a need for this will buy it. If an employer buys a plan and just covers everybody under it, everybody says, well, that's great. But here, only the people that see a need for it, because there are many cases where the employee is working, their sole breadwinner, or maybe they're a two-income family. A lot of times, one of the incomes is primarily to get benefits, and the other is to get money to pay the bills, and you just never know. So when we go in and these plans are offered to employees, if they see that, yeah, I would like that coverage, then the employer has done a good service to them by allowing them to pay for it through payroll deduction at their place of business, which is a little bit lower rate than if they were buying it individually. And it gives them the added peace of mind of knowing they have a financial cushion if they do undergo a serious health or accidental injury event.
Now, I do have a question that one of the person had, and I wanted to, before that we go further, to address that question, which is, like I said before, this is an interactive webinar training, and I like for you guys to ask questions as you can. One of the questions that we have is from Bart. It says, will the cancer plan pay in full if a person has an additional cancer plan? Would you address that, Gary?
Yes. Now, with Aflac, if a person has an Aflac cancer plan and another cancer plan from another insurance carrier, yes, our plan will pay in addition to that. And the reason is that as you see, most of these are indemnity benefits. It's going to pay, a certain amount of money if you have this treatment or if you spend this time in the hospital. It's not based on the charge. Whereas health insurance, two health insurance plans obviously will coordinate because they don't want to pay more than what the bill is. Well, with our cancer plan or any other plan, we don't really care what the bill is. We're going to pay what the benefits are listed in the policy says to pay, because we realize that a person who's undergoing treatment for serious injury or illness, not only do they have some out-of-pocket expenses for deductibles and so forth, but many times they're not able to work, or they're not able to work full time. So this money we pay them, they can use to pay medical bills that aren't fully covered, or some of their non-medical expenses because they're not able to work while they're undergoing treatment. So that the bottom line answer is yes, our plan will pay in addition to any other plan they have.
Then another one is pre-existing condition for cancer on a CA policy in Oregon, for example. If accident policy with Plus Rider, what is the pre-existing condition for cancer on a California policy or Oregon? Mm-hmm.
I believe it's 5 years for internal cancer. I'd have to verify that, but I believe it is 5 years look back on internal cancer. That would be pre-existing.
Okay. And then I quite didn't understand that, or if accident policy with Plus Rider. So there's no pre-existing condition for accident policy with Plus Rider, right? There's not pre-existing condition for that, right?
Yeah, that's right, because I mean, accidental injury is an accidental injury. But no, the Plus Rider is going to add those additional health benefits on top of the accident plan. Now, Sandy, once again, I'm going to need to check on that Plus Rider, the pre-existing, for instance, you know, it adds benefits for heart attack, stroke, this type thing. I want to double check what the pre-existing is, and I'll send you that. We can distribute it out to you folks.
Absolutely. Another question from Karen: is there a minimum number of group account? How many people is the minimum that you have in the group?
Yes. Our minimum size group for payroll deduction is 3 insureds. Now, this is 3 employee insureds, not employee plus a spouse. That's still just one. So we can go down to 3 people. We have no limit on the top end. We can go as large a case as you wish, but we go down to 3. Now, we do have plans that we call our direct plans. There's an accident plan, cancer, dental, and we can offer that to one person. It would be covered under, or they would be paying for it on an individual basis through bank draft or credit card, that type of thing. We do have a few direct plans, but for the most part, we're looking at what we discussed today is payroll deduction plans, minimum of 3 insured employees per group.
Will any of these products be able to be sold as an individual basis?
Yes, what I just mentioned, there's we call that our direct products, and we have an accident plan, cancer plan, and a dental plan that can be offered. Now, once again, Sandy, that's under our direct list. I can certainly send you that list of those plans that are available. But yeah, they can be sold to one person. In other words, a person walks in your office and says, "Yeah, I need an accident plan." You can sign them up on an Aflac direct accident plan, and it's going to have many of the same benefits that we just covered. It's going to be slightly more expensive because it is one at a time as opposed to a group. But yes, we do have these plans available on an individual basis.
Great. I will show these people just a snap in Texas of a rate sheet for the short-term disability or the accident benefit that they have, that you guys have, just to give them a small view of how the rates on these plans work, especially on that 24 hours accident option 4. You can see that the premium is at $7.80. I believe this is a weekly payment on this, right?
Well, you have to look up at the top. It looks like a weekly, but weekly for industry, and that's a standard industry class C. The majority of businesses that you'd be looking at are going to be class C. Obviously, if there's more hazardous occupation, the premium is going to be a little bit higher. Now, on this disability, since you mentioned that, you see we have a variety of elimination periods, 0, 7, 0, 14, 7, 7, whatever. And, excuse me, we will pay this benefit. They can select for a 6-month benefit all the way up to a 2-year benefit. And the person can purchase up to 60% of their normal income, not to exceed $6,000 a month. You can see where we have this. And any of your folks on the call that offer disability, I would guess, at least in my experience, a lot of times people go to 0.7 or 0.14. Of course, the higher elimination periods, the lower the cost. So, but you've got a variety of options there to offer.
One of the questions that they ask is they have a specially landscaping business that the owner and his employees have green cards and are eligible. Are they eligible to get into this plant? What are your parameters on your?
My understanding. Yeah, my understanding is if they can show documentation where they are legally authorized to work in the U.S., then we can cover.
So that means that if you have a work permit and have an IT number or Social Security, you should be able to obtain this type of policy, right?
Yes. But once again,
right.
Some of these questions I'm jotting down. I'm going to send you official written answers on these, so you and your folks can refer to them later on.
Absolutely. For commissions, they have asked for commissions and renewals. I would recommend you guys to reach out to me so we can talk about that and how the contracting portion of that works. So I will be sending some information on these brochures. I will send it to everyone, and I will also send you information about commission structures and stuff like that. Okay.
And Sandy, can I, in a related topic, let you know that as far as your folks on the call, we will support you with training and with material if you wish to set your own cases up and you enroll employees. We also will be able to provide enrollment services for you if you have a case where you want to offer the coverage, but you don't particularly want to sit down and talk with each employee. We can do enrollments over the web or over the phone. So if you're interested, that's on a case-by-case basis, but we can provide an enrollment service as well.
Thank you very much for talking about that, Gary. With the relationship that we have developed for you guys with Western Marketing, for people who actually work with large groups and things like that and have the need of use of systems, we will provide those systems as well for you guys without having to pay for a monthly fee on those systems, kind of like a system like Ease or something like that. So please reach out to me and we'll work those cases. Like Gary said, they will be on hand to help you enroll and develop groups. And if they need to go to a large group place in person, they will do it as well. So just to make you aware of that. So
yes.
I think that does it for the questions. Gary, do you have anything to talk more about the company advertising? What we do? Do we have anything for how do we help these agents develop a social media advertising, or what do we do for them on that side?
Yes, and I can send you some information on that, Sandy, that you can distribute. Of course, the Aflac, and I don't think I'm going to surprise anybody with this. The Aflac duck is one of the most recognizable brands of any company, certainly in the United States. And Aflac spends a lot of money to keep that duck out there, and in addition, we're paying football coaches and football players. So the beauty of it is that when you're talking to your client companies, most people have heard of Aflac. So it's kind of like, you've heard a lot about Aflac. It's one of the premier voluntary benefit companies in the United States, and you have an opportunity to offer this to your employees, and they're dealing with a known deal. We can also do a little bit of private assistance with your advertising. For instance, we can take. I think we have just a few brochures that we can actually take your logo, your agency or brokerage logo, and we can put it in there right beside the duck, and then send it back to you electronically, so you can send that out to your folks. So we do have a little bit of a customization that we can offer. But once again, Sandy, I'll send you the list of those type things that we can do, and we can distribute it. And the other thing I do want to go back to is today we had a lot of just reading through brochures and benefits here and there and the other. The the best thing we can do is if you submit a group to us to quote, we need the name of the group, the type business, and the address, and that type of thing. Then, and what plans you would like to offer. For instance, you might say, well, yeah, I've got this one company, and I'd like to offer them or talk to them about the accident plan and the cancer plan, or the critical illness plan and the disability plan, whatever. Then we'll put together the specific benefit package, including the rates and all, for your location, for your state, and we'll send it to you. So you're going to have something that's very easy to sit down with an employer and go through and say, here's what I suggest we consider offering to your employees. So once again, anytime you're going through a whole bunch of products and just reading benefits out, it can kind of blend together. But we will do the customized quote for each of your cases that you submit to us, and you'll have it all very compact and very easily for you to go and present it to your client.
Thank you very much, Gary, for the training and for your wealth of knowledge. If you guys do not have any more questions, I'm going to let Gary continue with what he was doing the rest of the day. I'm going to be submitting a copy of the webinar to everyone. This is actually better than the normal type of webinars that we do because it's a more interactive way of doing things. That way, everybody participates on what they need to understand on these plans. And like Gary said, this is a very unique type of opportunity for you guys. You have to do minimum advertising because everybody knows the doc and Aflac, and the benefits are on a weekly basis being advertised on TV, on radio, and all type of social advertising. So you don't have any issues getting the word out to sell this type of product. So great opportunity, and I hope that everyone take advantage of that. So with that, Gary, do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it, Sandy, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to some of your folks and give them some information. And I hope they will start sending us groups that we can provide quotes to, so we can really get an interactive situation going and help them offer an enhancement to their clients' benefit program, and also to increase their revenue stream to themselves and their agencies.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.